a huge factor. If you are going to be a nation of smartphones, you need more phones like the Kicka.
So hey, what's up people? My name is Nick and welcome to 24-bit. And today I want to talk about the Safaricom Neon Kicka 4.
Right. Yes.
We need to introduce ourselves.
You know us. I'm Dixon Otieno.
No, they don't know us.
Introduce.
Chanzi Manuel.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah.
And you?
Introduce.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, I want to talk about the Safaricom Neon Kicka 4. When was it launched? Was it
I don't remember when it was
September.
launched, but I wrote about the specifications.
Should have been somewhere in August, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because it's been around for a while.
The first week of August.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. Yeah.
So for the cheapest Android Go device in the market, right?
The cheapest smartphone you should buy.
Well, the most affordable.
The most affordable smartphone at 3,500.
It's a good deal, right?
Actually, a good. If you are going home for the holidays, I think it's one of those things you can buy people as a gift. Not because it's really bad, but because I believe it's value for money, depending on the use cases of the person. Because essentially, if you just app for communication, call, text, WhatsApp, it's really good. But then also the phone is built in such a way that it really can't handle a lot more. Yeah. So depending on a person's use cases, there's somewhere it easily fits.
I was thinking, when I was writing my review of the phone, I was thinking of it in the sense that my first smartphone in 2012 was a Samsung Pocket, Galaxy Pocket.
Wow.
The screen was 2.8 inches. That was the screen size. With very huge bezels anyway, but it had 512 MB of RAM, a 768 megahertz processor that was big, a 1250 mAh battery, and it cost 10,000.
Wow.
500. I bought mine at 11,500 because I still have the receipt. My first smartphone, I kept the receipt. When you buy your first smartphone,
I actually do have the receipt for the first smartphone I ever bought.
Yeah.
Actually, the first two.
Yeah, and the best thing about this receipt, it was written Dixon Otieno. Smartphone, Samsung SJ, whatever.
Oh, they had that offer, they will engrave your name, right?
No, the receipt was in my name. And it was the most expensive item I'd ever bought in my life. So yeah.
I mean, at that time,
11,500 at that time was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money even now for a smartphone.
Yeah.
But we were getting the specs we were getting with the Neon Kicka 4 in 2012 for 11,000, and right now for 3,500. So that shows you how the smartphone industry is changing. Yes, we are getting $1,000 smartphones and all that, but at cheap prices you're getting specs that were very expensive a couple of years ago.
I mean, who is Safaricom targeting with this phone?
One, the phone is just meant to get everyone using the internet, period. Because much as we keep talking about the smartphone revolution, the smartphone and everything, one of the best ways to still reach a critical mass in the country is still using shortcuts. Basically, platforms built around SMS, because much as we will not like to say it, there's still a considerable number that still don't use the internet every day. If you look at CK stats, they are misleading. Because you'll see 30 million mobile internet users, 30 million, then compare with our population, that looks like almost every Kenyan adult is there. No, that's really not the correct picture. And two, that's number one. Two, there's need for the smart features of a smartphone for whichever use case. Doesn't even need to go online. Of course, that's not what Safaricom aims. The Safaricom wants people to get to use the internet, then it will sell them mobile data bundles, and it will make its money and go. So I think from Safaricom's end, it is to deepen the penetration of mobile data or mobile internet, because once you have a phone that can go on the internet and produce an experience that is a bit better than what you had with a feature phone, you're definitely going to use it. Yeah, because basically that's how most of us end up getting hooked to doing almost everything on a phone
Yeah.
because we started from somewhere.
When Android Go launched, I remember writing a very funny article. I was wondering, why is Google making Android better for the way they stated it, 1 gig of RAM or less.
Yeah.
So they were targeting phones with 1 gig of RAM or less, and I was wondering, the way prices are falling for smartphones and all that, why is Google trying to focus on this type of devices? But then you get on Android Go and you get this different sort of apps, the Go apps, the Android Go apps, and yes, it feels different when you use an Android Go app. Everything is running over Chrome, so everything is sort of a web app in some way, so you don't get the full mobile experience. Like, for example, Maps Go is very different from normal Maps. Chrome is very different from normal Chrome. Even the Play Store looks kind of different, and it has really helped a smartphone like the Neon Kicka because the experience is different. Imagine if you were to run a full version of Android on 512 gigs of RAM and it's Android 8.1. It will be very laggy and all that. But with the Go apps, you're getting almost the same experience, though different for people who have a full-fledged smartphone experience, full-fledged Android experience. But at that price, at that asking price and all that, you get that it's value for money. You're getting a smartphone experience, it's entry level, but you're also getting value. You're also paying a little less. What essentially could be the price of a Kabambe from Nokia or something like that. So yeah.
I think when Chenzo was saying, when Safaricom brought, who are they targeting when they brought the Neon Kicka? When you look at Kenya, there's so many people still using feature phones. So I think those are the people it's trying to target to get them to the smartphones without spending so much money on an expensive phone. So you get into the smartphone ecosystem and then at a very affordable price. Then if you maybe like it and you can afford a much expensive phone, you can use a very expensive phone. And again, even what Chenza said, Safaricom wants you to spend money on data. That's what they want you to do. So if you're getting a smartphone that you can use data on, that's
a win for
that's what a win for them.
Actually, we shouldn't lose the point. Yes, Android Go is good, and because Android Go exists, it means products like the Neon Kicka actually become more usable. Because I'm just imagining, I spent I think 1.5 weeks with it before sharing my thoughts on it. I'm just thinking, if it didn't have Android Go, my thoughts and my outlook of the problem will have been so bad, because I've used Android before when it wasn't tuned for such low resources and it wasn't good. But that's not why the Kicka exists. The Kicka just exists because either Android Go is there or not, it will still exist. Because there have been previous generations. Now Android Go is just good because now it means for those set of specs, because they're the ones that justify the cost, at least the experience is a bit better. It's not the best, but it's a bit better. And the whole point is to get you hooked. Because if you're going to use data on the Kicka, let's say for WhatsApp, because mostly this is a phone that mostly will be very appealing to first-time smartphone users. Think people who've just cleared KCC. Before you go and look for your own money to want that iPhone that you want or that other expensive phone, this is what someone will be willing to offer you.
And they get the same experience as
yes,
you get,
yes, exactly. I gave the Kicka to my small bro and he likes it. The day he really wants all those other features, everything, he'll go find his own money and buy his own phone. So for that, it really does make sense. For everyone else with this very advanced phone, it can be that secondary backup phone. If you're going to spend 100,000 shillings like we were talking in our last episode on a phone, that 100k phone, depending on how you value your gadgets, if it was me, dead places it wouldn't go. So I'd keep like something like the Kicka on the side for going. Because that way I'm still able to hail a cab because it's a smartphone and still get from point A to point B without needing to carry this other expensive phone that is more exposed when I'm in certain places. Like for me, Neon Kicka is the phone to use in downtown Nairobi.
But we noticed most of these people, for example, Safaricom was targeting this device People would just thought, for example, just be on WhatsApp.
Why
You know?
why are you saying these people are not you?
Okay,
'Cause,
no.
Like where you stay, there's no network, so
Yeah, but then,
you really don't need these very expensive phones.
hey, but you know,
Wow.
Really? Hey.
Hebu pick up haraka ulenge hiyo.
hey, nilenge yote sio? Yeah. Okay, nilikuwa nimefika wapi? But I mean, yeah. People like me, yeah.
People Safaricom is
Is targeting like
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Like if I go to my shack, for example, in Kitale, like I gave the phone as well to my little sister by there, and she likes just cleared from 4. She likes that when like we're able to chat on WhatsApp. She can take where I know it doesn't take really some good photos, but she can still send me photos. You know, I mean those are people Safaricom. I remember when they launched the release they sent.
Yeah.
They were talking about targeting. You know, for example, mama mbogas who just want photos to.
They want to bring those people to the internet.
to the internet actually.
Yeah. So it's what I've said. People who have never used a smartphone or have been using a feature phone, this is a very good phone for them because you just need it for the basic phone features and the few WhatsApp and maybe Facebook Lite. It has Facebook Lite pre-installed, so those basic features without the advanced ones that we need, like maybe the advanced camera or and whatnot. You can do a lot with this phone for this price with all those basic smartphone features.
Yeah, because there are feature phones that cost close to around the same price, right?
The banana phone from Nokia is 8,000.
Actually, picture it this way. I try when I was using the Neon Kicka and subsequently when I was writing my overview of it, I was thinking about my very first smartphone experience, like a phone I'd bought and owned. At that, I couldn't. It wasn't the Idios actually. It wasn't the Idios actually. If you follow what I've been writing, you'll know what that was. But I couldn't afford a more expensive phone. But weren't there expensive smartphones at that time? There were. I just couldn't afford them. But what I could afford then, I still spent a pretty penny on it, and I got features that I even trumped by the Neon Kicka. And checking because the RAM was little, the internal storage was little. The camera was so bad because I still have those photos today, so I still go look at those photos, and I actually saved the original photos, so not Facebook compression or anything. So you look at those photos and you're like, wow, this is where I've come from. So now when you compare to that, and they even paid more, and even if you have to look at other factors like currency and inflation and all those things, by today's standards it will still be more. And then you compare that someone else gets to start but pays something that is 3,500 and gets the Neon Kicka.
It's even cheaper if you get with Bonga and all.
Exactly. For me now that makes a lot of sense. The Bonga bit is actually makes it sweeter because if you have some nagging teenager who needs a phone and they're of age,
and you have a lot of Bonga.
Yes, that's a good way of getting done with them. Like that's how I looked at the phone, and for me it really made sense, because to be honest it doesn't make sense for someone who's used to a superior smartphone experience, because it won't take the best selfies, it won't last an entire day if you are always online. But now when I picture that, because like all those phones I had, like my first 4 or 5 smartphones had like the worst battery life in the world. I used to be chatty and doing all manner of things on my phone. They used to be to go and all those things. But you see,
Twitter.
but you see, they couldn't last all that long. So there's those dynamics. So if you look at it that way, for me the phone does make a lot of sense. And I don't know exactly what Safaricom had in mind for it. We can only speculate. But for that, it will go a long way, because
I'm pretty sure Safaricom will sell a lot of these devices.
I've seen them in the the most and least places I least expect.
But my problem was something I noticed, because it's an entry-level device. Yes, you're given 500 MB of data free. But the first thing you get if you buy that smartphone will be a system update. That's 800 MB. There are things that in my review I was asking Safaricom to consider with their next devices. They have created a Safaricom pass for Google Play Store, where you can buy a pass and download and update your apps and all that.
It's not there anymore.
It's not there anymore. But when they had it, it was about 20 bob the whole day. You can update your apps for
100
free.
for a month.
It makes sense, so people can update their apps and all that. But for a system update that's this big, for somebody who's starting out on a smartphone, it's really tasking on them to update their phone. Also, somebody is buying their Neon Kicka for the first time. This is your first smartphone experience. You insert your SIM card, you have 50 bob MB, and the data goes on immediately. And
500 MB.
no, you've just bought your SIM card,
yeah.
you've inserted, you're setting up, your data is done. This is someone who's interacting using the internet for the first time. So Safaricom should come up with a way to train and make sure people understand that you have to switch off your data in some ways. You have to limit. You can dial star 544 to what's the word I'm looking for, so that your data is not used up when browsing. Your airtime is not used up when browsing and all that. And also Safaricom should consider.
But the whole point of 100 Go is it's built with data saving from the ground up.
Yes, it's data saving, but it still uses your data in certain ways.
No, yeah.
You're getting your smartphone for the first time. You've not activated the star 544. Your airtime doesn't run out. Yeah, this is an experience I saw physically. Somebody I know bought it was their first smartphone. Like, I use a SIM card. 5 minutes later, you have no airtime. So she was like, why? And I'm telling her, no, we have to activate data manager. And then when you're not using WhatsApp, utazima data hapa and all that, because
no, I think I get where you're coming
from. Mtu mwenye utamwambia, oh, tomorrow you'll buy 50 MB of bundles. No, this is someone you buy bundles for the whole month, because you don't want them to be calling, WhatsApp is not working, yeah.
But what was this?
I'm getting it, but there is really no need for data manager with Android going there. What needs to happen is maybe if the phones ship with mobile data off, because almost all phones usually come with it on, you actually have to turn it off. If it's your first smartphone experience, that you don't know, because you've never had such a problem. The data
manager app, I'm talking about deactivating the use of airtime. So if I'm coming to a Safaricom shop to buy, deactivate it for me, for the people who are getting their first smartphone experience. Yeah.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
You understand
I
what
get
I'm
it,
saying.
but
so that mtu asiingize sim card yake kwa simu 5 minutes later credit yake yenye amekuwa akisave kwa feature phone yake imeisha, because system update image download nini imeanza, such like that.
I get, but my thinking is, what if we they just turned off mobile data, because almost every phone you buy comes mobile data is on. So if you plug in when you're setting up, if you don't go with Wi-Fi, by that time you are finishing the process, you find mobile data as really
that's
going.
Okay. They can switch off.
So because this other now from a technical point of view, this other process is really hectic, and one, Safaricom is in the business of selling airtime and bundles, not in their best interest. So it's unlikely to happen.
Yes.
So the most practical one is to make sure the phone ships with mobile data turned off. So the moment you turn it on, your airtime or whatever you have will just go.
I have no problem with that. I don't think I'm anyelewa vizuri.
No, I got you. I actually
the data.
I got you.
Yes.
You just want
but just
in
activate data manager for everyone.
Yeah, I got
so
it.
that people don't use their airtime and complain about that. Because you're giving people 500 MB of free data. Yeah. But somebody doesn't know how to use their data. This is their first experience. Yeah. Also, it should be made possible that these big downloads, 800 MB and all that, are done on Safaricom side. It's not on
the system update.
Yeah, because it's a Safaricom phone.
How? No.
That's
no.
yeah.
But I get where you're coming. I get where you're coming from. But essentially, Safaricom does not have the kind of control over the devices that we do see elsewhere. Like they don't control updates. True. They come to you raw. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing they can innovate on this from their end.
And also something I noticed,
because updates will come, and updates are good, because number one, if you're going to receive such a bulky updates, there are two things. There are the usual fixes Google sends, and there's the other bit is someone noticed something wrong with the phone, and there's need for those things. Like a lot of I've experienced this on other devices. Like if you are to just use the phone right out of the box without the update that comes first with it, and Tecno and Infinix are so good at doing this.
True.
You find your experience is so
very
different
bad.
from someone else
who just updated.
Who updated. Yeah, because some of those things need fixing. Now the problem is the people you're actually targeting don't even have that much.
And did you notice it with the Safaricom Neon Kicka? Before the update, the calls, if you made a call on the Neon Kicka and you hung up, the screen didn't come on for me. It wasn't coming on, like you had to press the power button a couple of times.
Updated everything.
Yeah. So after the update, that was working. Bluetooth wasn't working okay the first time. After the update, it was working. And these are small things that somebody getting a smartphone for the first time will not know. Atakuja kwako akuulize, nimemaliza call but I cannot access my screen. It has gone black. If you made a call, there were some bugs I wrote about here.
Interesting. I mean, is the price different from the previous Neon?
Yes, I
Neon
think,
Kicka 4 is very different from other Neons.
yes. These 100 Go. I think the other news started at over 4K. Yeah.
There was a
I
neon,
never used
neon something that was 14K.
No. Just the Kicka.
Oh, no,
just the
no,
Kicka.
no.
Leave the others. The others are actually justified because I've used the Pearls and there's another one. Can't remember the name. So the others actually even have better specs and all those things. The others even compete with other
brands.
phones that we've discussed. But the Kicka specifically, the previous Kickas were a bit pricey. They were not at this 3,500
And also
segment.
wish Safaricom can make their apps available. On the Kicka you'll find my Safaricom app. But Safaricom has Songa, Safaricom has...
Come on, the
Not
Kicka has
Songa,
limited
but-
storage. No. Yeah, I know.
Not on
And
just
also,
Kicka, but
no,
on their phones.
actually that's not a very good approach. If you've ever watched these places where carriers have all this power, the one thing they get a bashing for is the 1 million apps they put. Please let people download apps on a needs basis.
Yeah.
It makes sense to have the My Safaricom app there because it is all encompassing. But I'd find it abusive if they also brought in the home fiber app there. Come on, and all those
But
and those
as
those
a
other
default
apps.
music player, why have a different
no,
one when you have a music player?
That's now how someone Safaricom's marketing should think, but I don't think it's helpful for a user. It's let them see the need for song and have it, because like from our different use cases, we've done a video on Songa, right?
But you can-
we
yes.
it's a nice way of onboarding people, and that's why I usually if you read my review of techno devices, specifically techno, every other time I usually have to mention that in the onboarding process they ask you to sign in for their forums. Please keep it away. If I'm really that interested in your forums, I'll come.
Sign up,
Like I like that clean aspect of Safaricom, and I think it's been that way since they did the ideas. Even the previous Kabambes they were doing, they like don't force you into their stuff. Like the only lockdown thing on the
The
Kicka
use of network.
is they restrict their SIM card, which I understand. If they've gone to great lengths to give this experience and subsidize the cost, they will want anyone else to use it. That I get. But now bringing in 100 apps, it works for them and it's in their best interest as a business. But from a user perspective, that's a very bad test. And then the other bit is the storage is limited. The one thing other than these network issues like you described, the other thing you don't want is your users having to go through settings to uninstall apps. That was my quarrel with Huawei with the Wi-Fi Prime.
But
Yes,
I've also had
Wi-Fi
the same
Prime
issue
comes with like
every app.
2 million games you don't need.
Even the new techno from 11.
Yeah.
So many
Actually a good example is the transition brands. They
They
put it
feel
they have their own in-house apps.
Apps.
Like I really don't need PubPlay.
S launcher will even send you adverts.
Like all that stuff, please don't. Like if you can just put the essential, like for Safaricom, the My Safaricom app, once you start using it, you really don't stop. Actually, there are times when I don't have any bundles, but I'll keep the little that is there for that one time I'm making an M-Pesa transaction so that I can use that app. That's how good it is. So I see the sense in having it there. All those other apps, please let users just find out about them. Maybe you can run.
It's really good if you're coming from a feature phone.
Yes,
and you're used to
yes.
using it.
And it's actually a nice way. If we have it there, we won't have to remember all these 1 million shortcuts that Safaricom has for everything. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, overall, what is your final key points from? I mean, your favorite features? Not even features, because I mean, Android Go is actually the key thing, right?
Yeah.
So what is?
Not really Android Go. For me, it's the cost, because in our country the price is a huge factor. If you are going to be a nation of smartphones, you need more phones like the Kicka. So for my biggest takeaway from the Kicka is the price. Then number 2, there's Android Go. Android Go, to be honest, it's not where Google said. Like Google explained the vision for Android Go. That's not what we've seen so far. Like you go use all those under Android Go for the phones, the smart, the Infinix, the second generation smart, the Spark. You always get away with, like the Spark 2 is such a good phone,
Yeah.
but you
But-
actually find the Android Go experience holds it back.
limits it.
Yeah. So you get with a feeling, you come from that with a feeling that there's something that could be better. If you're not a technical person, you can't even tell what it is, but you know something is wrong. So
But I've
yeah.
noticed some changes. For example, I was trying to download a Go app on my normal phone, and I couldn't. It said not compatible with your phone. So maybe Google is working behind the scenes where Go apps will only run on Go smartphones.
But hasn't that always been the case? It's just that the Go SDKs are open to everyone to incorporate. So you find guys like UC Browser, the Go
Incorporating,
variant,
yeah.
the way they've incorporated it such that you can even use it on non-Go
Yeah,
devices.
yeah.
And then native Google apps, they're just restricted. But then others are not. Like when YouTube Go came, we could all install it on our phones. Because the whole point is, while there are specific devices, also the whole point, like now from a Google point of view, the whole point is, one, they have a huge user base in countries where, one, that is expensive, and two, mobile network coverage is spotty. Yeah, so that's why there are projects like Loon and all those things, because where the network is spotty, you really can't have your app requiring all these network calls from where. Like in rural Kenya, someone has to struggle with the network making calls, and now you want them to use your service. Make the service
Work
make
for
less
you.
pings to the network and work just for the user without needing that. Then the other bit is your app requires all this data and all, and these guys' data in their country is very
Now we're
expensive.
going deep into
So,
Android Go, and
yeah.
there is a lot of problems personally I have with Android Go.
About the pricing, right? Which is actually the key.
The key thing about the Neon Kicka is the price.
Yeah, and nakumbuka actually was it last month kulikuwa na hiyo event ya GSMA, and they're talking about how by 2020 close to 52% of sub-Saharan Africa will be connected to the internet. And one of the things walikuwa wanaongelea, most of the pricing of smartphones being cheaper. Okay.
Yeah.
So Neon Kicka 4, I think pia it's
I think whether
It's
we
a very
like it
good
or
price.
not, internet penetration will increase by hiyo mwaka wanasema. Whether prices fall or they don't, people are innovating ways for the internet to be accessible to everyone. Yeah.
now through now cheaper devices like now they
Cheap, whether it's cheaper devices, whether it's free Wi-Fi, there's a lot of ways people are doing mobile libraries in rural areas. There's so much ways people are trying to tap people into the internet. So if companies don't innovate ways of making their smartphones cheap and all that, there'll still be ways. I'm just disagreeing with GSMA app.
Right. Always. Where can guys get that from? It's on Masoko.
It's
Safaricom.
on Safaricom shops.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Like literally everywhere.
In every
Are you
shop
sure
you
these other
want.
shops are not?
But I don't know how you get the free MBs.
The price should be that 500 if anyone
Yeah,
else
that's
is
the
telling
recommended
something.
retail price.
And then of course there is, if you're to buy it from Safaricom, they have a lay-by program
Yeah.
where they want to give you the phone up front, but unaweza lipia kidogo, and then
Oh, they
get
have
the
such a
phone
program?
and then- yes, it's there. It's specifically
For the Neon Kicka.
the Kicka.
They have sold so many phones.
No, because you people run away with their phones.
They have sold so many phones by the way.
Yeah.
Come on,
Kicka.
yeah.
We should trade in the number. Hey, but I think that's it, right? Unless anyone has anything to add. Yeah, and now we at
CDI Gadgets.
Yeah.
The building name
What's the
Tembo
building?
Tembo House.
Cooperative
Tembo
House.
Cooperative
Tembo
House.
Cooperative
Yeah.
House, yeah.
6th floor, office number 7, I think.
Yeah, so we try to share all the details down there so you can just come check them out. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm Nick Canali. I blog at TechTrends.ke.
Sawa.
You haven't completed TechTrends.ke?
That's it.
No, I'm just saying that.
And Kenya.com.
Tekarena.co.ke.
And tech with a -ish.com.
But of course we put the links down here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Asante sana tumepiga hapa story mingi sana.